Hello. Okay, the latest episode and the and latest chapter in the war of the cripple versus the meth heads. So, as usual, last night they're making noise all night, walking around. They're not being particularly crazy loud, but I can just hear them up there. Staying up all night. About 4:30 in the morning, uh, yesterday morning, which would be I guess Sunday morning. They start to quiet down a little bit, and so I just start singing uh, an old prison work song called Berta Berta. It goes something like this: Berta, Berta, oh Lord, gal, don't you go ahead and marry, don't you? Anyways, it's something like that. It's like a prison work song. So I just start singing it real loud to let them know that, yeah, you can hear me and I can hear you. So why ain't you fucking quiet at 4 o'clock in the morning? So I start singing like real fucking loud. It's about 5 o'clock it's not quite 5 o'clock in the morning. I start playing Black Sabbath, War Pigs, and some Black Sabbath songs. Fairly loud. All I got is this little bar speaker hooked up, so it's not that loud. I don't even know if they even heard it. But anyways, so 6:45 in the morning, red car pulls up there. Three people come up. One of them is in coveralls with no shirt and big frizzy hair. Look like Hillbilly Jim, this wrestler, or he looks like Bruce on what's that alligator show? Swamp People. So he's carrying a six pack going up there, but they're in here real super quiet. And then they go up the steps and they're like, everything's real quiet and shit. So I'm up a few more hours. I don't sleep at night anymore. I've had death threats, and I can hear them up there. That would probably help keep me awake anyway. But death threats definitely keep me awake. So the red car is gone. I don't know if anybody's home or not or whatever, but I locked the front door. And a couple of days before that, they had left the garbage bag in the hallway with regular garbage in it. And I put it like at the bottom of the steps to let them know, you could carry this out and throw it in the garbage can where it belongs. And all they did was move it aside. They didn't even put it back in the cubby hole in the hallway. They just moved it aside and left it in the hallway. So I picked up the garbage bag and I threw it up the steps, and some of the garbage fell out of it. And you know, I went to sleep about 11:30 in the morning. That's about when I go to sleep nowadays. Is like from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock in the morning, and then I sleep in the afternoon till like 4 or 5 o'clock. That's real fun. So I wake up and it's dead quiet in here, man. You can hear a church mouse fart. It's so damn fucking quiet in here. So I'm like, I think it might be over, and I was hearing them talking about amongst themselves, talking about Sunday. I'm like, yeah, maybe that's the plan. It's like they're moving out on Sunday. Maybe the machete worked. Maybe I scared them away. So I call my buddy up, and I'm like, yeah, I think it's finally over, man. It's like quiet in here. And I threw garbage on the steps, and nobody picked it up. They'd have to like move it. Nobody moved the garbage because they would have to move it to walk up and down the steps. I said, I think maybe they're gone. And the door's locked. As soon as I hung up the phone, man, they show up, and the door's locked on them, and I got the blinds open, and they, try the handle, and she looks in the window at me, and I'm just like, hi. And the guy's getting something out of a book bag. I don't know what he was getting to do his B&E type of thing, but he's break in the front door. So I'm like, fuck this. 911, man. I called the cops, and I'm like, look, man, I got two people trying to break into my house right now, and I've had death threats on me, and I'm scared. And I wasn't scared so much as my heart was beating, because I was like, I was scared of what might happen. That's what scares me more than anything else, is the things that I'm capable of. So, anyways, they're like, she's want me to give descriptions of the people and stuff in case they get away or whatever. And I can't hardly. I was like, I'm not getting up. I'm like, Miss, I'm not getting up and uh, giving them a better look at me. I'm playing along and shit. And uh, I can see. I was like the one. I said, oh, the one dude's like he's wearing a hat and a gray shirt and pants, and he's like 6 foot tall, like 170 pounds, and kind of looked like he was blasting a bit, you know. And I think he's the guy that's got the tats all the way up here on his neck and by his ear. He's about as tall as me. And she was out there looking her best in a nice dress and stuff. And I said, there's a woman out there in the dress. And like, okay, we'll send some officers out there. So, they're still trying to break in. The neighbor's out there with his dogs, and he's watching them trying to break in the place. I don't know what kind of tools they were watching because I didn't get out of my chair, you know, to look to see what kind of tools they were using. To break in, but they were trying to break in. And the cops came when they were trying to break in, man, like 4 cruisers pulled up, and the cops wouldn't let them in, because they're like, just wouldn't let them in. And then they were like, I heard some of what they were saying about this guy in here. He's harassing us, and he's always calling the cops on this. She's like, this shit is ridiculous. We live here. And then the cop knocks on the front door, and I open the front door and let him in. And I said, can I sit down for a minute? And I turn around and I show him my back. And I said, look at these scars on my back. I was like, I ain't in no position to defend myself. And those people have been threatening my life. And why should I let people in my house that are threatening my life? And you might want to ask them why, if they live here, they don't have a key and they got to break in. So, that got him thinking, and he was like, you got your landlord's number? And I'm like, yeah. I had him call the landlord, and the landlord explained to the cops how they're in the eviction process, and they have a right to be there and everything like that. And skipping around on the story a little bit, the cops told me, like, look, you can't lock them out of here. You can't lock them out of here no more because legally they have a right to be here. So I explained to the one cop who looked like Michael Chiklis on The Shield. He was kind of a scary dude, but he was really on my side, like 1,000%. And I said, listen, you guys know the meth trade that's been going around here. That girl that calls herself Jessica, she's been here the whole time. She was here through all of that. When they were leaving that place open and leaving it as a flop house for anybody and everybody to go in there if they wanted to. I have a relative that said they saw mattresses on the floor and looked like a shooting gallery. I said she was here through all of that. Don't get. She's going to tell you she's an upstanding citizen and this is just her family coming here and all this stuff. And he's like, yeah, I believe you. And he's like, yeah, I kind of know the situation. And this woman cop says, well, I talked to your landlord, and she explained to me, she says, you're not allowed to lock the front door on them because they have a right to be here. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured that. I kind of understand. I don't think I said I kind of figured that because that would make me look bad, but I was like, yeah, I understand. And I won't do that no more. So, anyways, cops think it's over, and the people think it's over. The girl and the dude with the tattoos on his neck think it's over. So the cops are outside. There's 6 of them in a huddle discussing the situation. Or maybe they're discussing something else, like something they heard at work or a joke or something. Who the hell knows? But they're out there in a circle. I have my door cracked open because I'm expecting to talk to more cops. This guy, he's like, you goddamn motherfucker. And then he said something else that could have been construed as a threat. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? I was like, I never even talked to this dude before. This wasn't even the guy that was threatening. He's the guy that was saying, we got guns. You ain't got long for this world. We know where you live, motherfucker. This is a different dude. And I'm like, I got this other dude threatening me now. So, I opened the door, and they already got upstairs before I could say anything. But I opened the door, and I'm like, honey, this stuff's just starting. It's just going to get worse from here. I said, I'm trying to do what's best for both of us. He's like, and that's to get you to leave. And then the guy started making some real threats, but I don't remember what he was saying. But the girl was trying to calm him down, saying, he's just trying to bait you, man. Just don't even talk to him. He's just trying to bait you. But then she starts going off, John. And I walk out on the, I see the cops out there. They're still out there. So I open the front door and I said, listen, I say it quietly so she don't hear me upstairs. I said, listen, they're threatening me right now. And they're like, what? Well, what are they saying? And I said, you don't need me to tell you what they're saying. Just come on in. I open the door, and he leans in the door, and she's yammering away. And the one guy that looked like Michael Chiklis, he's like, on the shield, he's like, why are you even talking to this guy? I said, what are you trying to accomplish here? And she was like, well, he started up. He talked to me first. And I said, no, I didn't. They walked by my door and called me a goddamn motherfucker and threatened me. And I say, and the guy talked to me some more, and he said, listen, man, I'm on call until 6 in the morning. He gave me his card. He said, my name's Officer Smith. You call and you ask for me. These people give you any more trouble, you call me and you talk to me. Then he went upstairs, and I heard part of what he said. He said, listen, you don't talk to that guy. You don't have anything to do with that guy, because if you do, I'm going to be back here and I'm going to be all over you. So I got one guy in my corner anyway. So yeah, I'm sure I'm leaving stuff out, but that's the deal. They said, I heard her say, I can't believe this child is shit, man. He even threw garbage on my steps. Like, it's okay that the garbage is in the hallway next to my door, but God forbid it should be thrown away from my door and onto their steps. Oh no. This is what I'm dealing with now. So now I got to watch my back even more. I got somebody else threaten me, and my brother was saying, like, why you got to quit antagonizing these people? And I said, antagonize is like, these people are already threatened my life, man. Where do you go from there? I said, they're so damn crazy that they walked up on me with a machete and told me I'm not afraid of you, old man, when I swung a machete against a wall so hard it made the windows rattle. And the other guy's upstairs in a cold-blooded way, not in an angry way, because I don't freak out if somebody's threatening me angrily. Like, when somebody's like, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass, or like, man, I'm gonna kill you. That's just in the moment, they cool down and they think about it and shit. But this guy's up there and he's cinematically and cold-bloodedly saying, you don't have long for this world, old man. We know where you live. And we got guns, and the fact that he was calm is what's frightening, because that shows you that, there's possibility of premeditation and plans and shit. See, now what I got to worry about is running into these people in the hallway, and like how that's going to be. I might have a scary cop, and this guy's a scary cop, completely on my side, but he's not going to get there until I'm bleeding if stuff jumps off. I mean, a 10-year-old girl can beat me up. I mean, I was a tough dude before the disease got a hold of me, and that dude that was threatening my life the other day, I would have had that guy in pieces on the floor when I was 25. And that's just not like bragging or old man talk or whatever. It was like, I knew how to fight, and I have a bad temper. So that's not a good combination. But I don't have no illusions about how tough I was even back then. I mean, I would back down from fights when I was facing a crazy guy, or I was facing somebody that clearly could kick my ass. Or I remember looking one time at this guy's boots, and I'm like, you know what? I've been kicked in the head with boots before, and I'm kind of looking up at this dude, and I didn't like it the first time I got kicked in the head with boots, and I don't think I'm up for a second time of that. So yeah. Time to eat shit. What? I literally said, why are you picking on a skinny little motherfucker like me? So it didn't matter of pride saying that dude would have been in pieces on the floor or whatever. He would have been in pieces on the floor, 25 years ago. But that's 25 years ago. I'm a 50-year-old man whose health has taken a dive the last since 2003, really, but especially the last 5 years when I've been having heart trouble. So I realize that's a horrible digression in my tale. But the tale was really over anyway. This is more what they call the denouement, I think is the French word for it. The unknotting of the plot. Or maybe that's not even the right word, but I just love that denouement thing. Anyways, I call this more like prognostications. It's like now I got to live my life where I'm trying not to run into these people, whether I have that officer's assurance or not. So I'm still going to be living like a prisoner. And today's incident uh, might have amped things up to the point where I really got to watch my back, because in their mind they're just innocent little lambkins. They, what's wrong with keeping people up all night? Don't everybody stay up until the sun rises? I used to like waking up in the mornings. I like having a day. But in their mind, of course, like a lot of people, and she's not apparently not a rational person because she walked up on me with a machete. Who does that? That doesn't even make any sense. That's like in the movies when you see somebody like walk up to somebody and make them put a gun to their head and say, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. She was like, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, chop me. Like I was like, this bitch is crazy, high, both. There's something wrong. There's something wrong with this woman. So, anyways, now this is not me getting myself in a mess. This is me trying to save myself, as crazy as that may sound. Because you know, I was getting to the point where I couldn't eat from stress and holding back anger. There one time I rode my electric bike to the doctor's office. I didn't know how hot it was, but it was like 85 degrees, which is hot for around here up in the northern part of Ohio. It was like 85 degrees with a hot sun beating down, and I had a black hat on and stuff, and my electric bike died, and I got a heart condition, and I'm wheeling it to the doctor's office, and I'm just kind of like stuck out there, you know. So I don't even know what that had to do with anything now. I lost my thread of what I was talking about. But the point being is I'm infirm, and, I can't, yeah. So oh, that's what it was. I don't want to put myself in this situation, but I was getting. Oh, yeah, that's what the story was about. Is like I didn't eat that day. Like I could have sat on that bike and kind of like walked it and half kicked it home. It's too heavy and my legs aren't good enough for it to pedal. It's really tricky pedaling. I can't pedal uphill on it at all. So, it would took me a lot of effort to get home, but I'm like, I got a heart condition and I haven't eaten all day. And that was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. This was before I was not sleeping, where I just had the stress of, this is before the machete incident, where I just had the stress of, scumbags coming around here constantly. So, anyways, so really, I couldn't wait this out through the whole eviction process. And I talked to my landlord, and my landlord didn't even file the eviction papers that he served last Monday. So it's been a week, and he was like, "Well, I was planning to serve them, either Monday or Tuesday or whatever." But after the eviction papers get served and the court date, they're going to be here for over another month, and then like they already had a 2 week extension before that. So, you're talking about 6 weeks, and you're talking about before them 6 weeks, uh, meth central is what I was living in. So it's like, this is like self-defense at this point. It's like, I couldn't let this slide anymore. I'd get sick, that kind of stress and repression and living in that situation, man. I'd get sick, I'd end up in the hospital or something. I had arrhythmia when I was talking to the cops today. I haven't had much arrhythmia lately. But I don't need that garbage. And she's so crazy. I'm sure she thinks it's all one-sided, and that she's just a joy to the world, and that I'm just an asshole that's being difficult. Like I wasn't provoked into that whole situation, and she was here through the whole meth trade, through the whole flop house thing, and I while it was just her with the keys, I saw a potential drug deal go outside. I had hoods on All-Star Day, like this is probably the July 12th or something like that. But I had hoods like out on the porch, like clearly hoods, like we used to call them, us old people call them, but just like 20-year-old criminal types just hanging around, just hanging out on my porch, like 5 feet from me. So it's just more nonsense, It's just more goddamn nonsense. And I've like people are telling me not to antagonize these people, but I've already had my life threatened. These people got to get the fuck out of here. It's a question right now. Like if I give in, I don't know if I can look at myself in the mirror and feel the same way about myself. I'll let people step on me. I let people step on me because I don't want animosity floating around in the world. I don't want that bad karma floating out there. I don't want people that have things against me. It's bad enough you got to worry about the random crazy motherfucker beating you up for no reason, or people robbing you, or the random bad guy, or where it's not a personal thing. If you go around making personal vendettas with people, you're just a damn fool, in my opinion. So, uh, you know, I let these people step on me and step on me, but I'll be goddamned if I'm going to let anybody wipe their feet on me too. You know, this shit gonna end one way or another, man. It might end up with me in a body bag, but it's gonna end up one way or another. It's gonna end. I've had enough, and it's gonna be constant harassment on my end. And like I told her, man, this shit's just starting, man. You're not gonna want to live here. You're not gonna want to live here. And if they're quiet at night, maybe I'll mellow out. Maybe I'll be like just biding my time, but I'm still going to feel like a prisoner because I'm going to worry about that chance encounter where shit can jump off and all them bad feelings floating around in the air, which of course they think I'm the guy that's the cause of. So, yeah, I don't think I can milk that story for any more than that. I got a long night ahead of me as usual. I don't go to sleep until well after the sun rises. And so I guess I'll leave it at that. You know, I guess I'll kill time some other way than by talking to y'all. But goddamn, man, what a mess. Can you imagine? I'm trying to taper off of benzos, which is just, of course, messing with. I just, after something like when I'm having arrhythmia and talking to police and being called a goddamn motherfucker beside some guy my size with tattoos on his neck, and just the general stress of it. I took his Xanax. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to backslide too much, and that's letting them win. At the same time, I'm barely sleeping and barely holding it together because of the stress of this nonsense. Like I told a friend of mine, I said, I said, you're not here. You don't see what I see coming in and out of this building. First of all, I see new people all the time, which is never a good sign. I see a lot of new people all the time. And the people that I do see, they look like they belong in a lineup about, I'd say 50% of them. They look like they belong in a lineup. And a lot of them got that, when certain drugs that you take, you don't eat. So you get that wasted look, you get that pale, wasted look, like that dude that called me a motherfucker today. Called me a goddamn motherfucker and said something else about me that sounded like a threat to me, but I can't even remember what it was. Because when I get in them highly emotional states, man, my memory is not good. I will just hear bits, and what I think are the important bits, I guess, or my brain saves like the things that I think are important, and whatever else gets said. I'm not a tape recorder. I am not a. Do people use that phrase anymore? Well, I guess it's still good. I'm not a tape recorder. I yeah, I can only tell you bits and pieces of things that I hear when I'm in those highly emotional states like that where shit could jump off. But I just couldn't believe that they were calling me a goddamn motherfucker and talking shit to me while the cops were standing outside that I called after they were trying in broad daylight trying to break into a place which they had a right to, but it's like, no end of nerve. There's no end of nerve with these people. And they're not right in the head because, yeah, that proved it to me, man. You walk up on somebody in a rage with a machete, you got a screw loose, or you're high off your ass, or you want to die, because you don't know me. And what she didn't know about me is, like, if she took a couple of steps further, I'd be in jail. She kept her distance. She just walked toward me a little bit, and tried to make her point about how she's not afraid of me. It wasn't like she invaded my personal space. She invaded my personal space. That's thank God she didn't do that. I don't know. I'm doing what I always do and making stuff longer than it needs to be just because I got a lot of time to kill and a long night ahead of me. So I'll be a good little boy and leave it at that and wish you all the best and keep a good thought for me. Bye bye.